Hello guys, this is allrover and in this lecture we will be learning about the other mouse and keyboard events that occurs. Like in the previous lecture we have seen the click events. Now in addition to that there are other mouse and keyboard events are there. In mouse event you can see that the mouse over and the what you call mouse out, two functions are there. Mouse over means when you get the cursor or take the cursor to that element, then this is mouse over, and when you remove the cursor from the required element, then that is mouse out. So we are going to see these two function or these two mouse events, and how you can handle and get how you can use this uh, what we call the events. For that we have the HTML page, and in HTML page is going to look like this. HTML page is going to look like this, having one background color and one search bar, just as a form, or you can say the just as a type of a form where you can enter some text. The corresponding code is this one, title demo, and it is connected to the style.css file. Now we have the outer div, and in the outer div there is nothing. You can see there is nothing in the outer div, having the and in the input type, that is where you can enter some key presses. We will be able to check the key presses using that input area. Here input type is text and name is search and ID is also search, and the script tag is there, have and this HTML file is connected to the script.js, and the output you can see it in the browser. The style has the outer div as the background color, margin, padding, height, width, background color, box size in border box, and the search bar you can see that the border is there, one px solid border is there and black border is there. So this is about the search bar. And in javascript you can see that for handling the cursor event or the mouse event, two events we are going to handle. One is mouse over and other is mouse out. I have already told you what is mouse over and what is mouse out. For that, we will be first getting the element document.get element by its ID, and the ID you can see is outer for the outer div. The background color which is set uh, is red. You can get the element by its ID outer, and it is assigned to the variable outer div. Now in the outer div you have to add event listener. So outer div dot event listener, and which type of event listener you want to add. First we will be adding the mouse over event, and what function it has to execute. It has just execute console.log mouse over, means we have to just print the mouse over on the console window. And the function mouse out, in the mouse out function, whenever you will be removing the cursor away from that element, then this function is going to be executed. And you can see the work of this function is nothing but just printing the mouse out word on the console window. Now this is the console window. You can see, if you can, I'm enlarging little. Now you can see the console window is there here. Now see, whenever I will be going to this background area red, then I will be printed mouse over. See, mouse over is printed. Now I'm removing this from this the cursor from this element. You can see mouse out is printed. So each time you will move the cursor on that element and remove the cursor at that element, the corresponding mouse over and mouse out will be printed. So this is how you can handle the mouse over and mouse out function or the event using the add event listener. Now some additional things that we are going to see. Now search input. Now whenever in the search input bar that we have designed in the HTML, currently in the JavaScript we have not written any code for that, so it is not going to detect the key press in that area. For example, you can see we have this search bar here, but if I write anything, then in the console window or anywhere there is no any change you are going to see. So now we will be handling the key press event. For that, the HTML and the CSS code will remain the same. Only the JavaScript code I am changing for handling the key press event. For that, search input variable is there, and we are getting the element by its ID, and the ID is search. Now in the search input variable we have to add the event listener. And which type of event listener you want to add? You want to add the key press event, and the functions would be executed is in the console window you have to just print key pressed. Now if I refresh the page and press any key, then you can see in the console window key pressed is printed. So whenever I will be pressing the key press will be printed. You can see 7 times key is pressed. So now you can see one time key is pressed and released. This is counting only one. But what if we want to we want to count both, that is the key pressing and releasing? For that you have to use key up and key down property. Key up and key down property will handle the event, both the events, that is pressing the key and then releasing the key. So key down and key up event is going to do for you. Now I'm changing it to key up. Now when we will be seeing, I'm refreshing the page. Now if I print D, sorry, I'm again refreshing the page. If I print D here, then it is showing that key pressed and it is showing only one. Now if I write key down, again refresh the page. Now if I run key pressed is printed. So this is the key down and key up property of. Using this you will be able to know that key is pressed. Now you want to, in games you see that anywhere the key is pressed, it has to handle that event. The cursor is anywhere, whether here or anywhere on the screen, you have to handle that event. For that you have to use the document. In the document you have to add the event listener. This will be, when you will add event listener on the document, it means the whole screen is there, and when anywhere in the screen, whenever you will press any key, then you will be getting that the required action or the function you want to get executed whenever any key is printed anywhere on the screen. For that, this is not the required one. This is not the required one, and in spite of search input, you have to use the in document. In the document, you are adding the event listener. Document dot event listener console dot log key pressed. Now, if I refresh the page, and anywhere if you now I if I will be pressing the key, cursor is anywhere, it's able to detect, and the key press is printed in the console window. You can see down here. This is used in game and video games, and these things are used. Now we are not able to know which key is pressed. For that, you have to add the event. Like, you have in the function, you have to pass the event function, and key.event key.event is going to give you the output of which key is printed. Key code, I think event dot key code is the method of event dot key code. Now if I run this, since it is our document type, you can see that the ASCII value of the key press is used. If I print space, it's not. Actually, one thing I forgot to tell you: if I print space, then it is 32 is printing. That is the ASCII value. So event dot key code is the method of handling which event is or which key is pressed. One thing I forgot to tell you. Earlier it was here, and we are not pressing the key code, right? We are not. We don't want to get the key code, and event also removed. Now you see one thing. Key press event was there fine initially. Now if I refresh the page, and the document part, here you have to write search input. We don't want in the whole document, we want in the search input for now, because I'm going to show you one difference between the key press and key up and down. Now if I refresh the page, and what happens, search input, right? Now if I refresh the page, and in the search bar, if I write M, then key press is detected. Now if I press shift or alt or tab, where is tab, it is not going to detect. So these things, it is not going to detect. Key press event handler is not going to detect. But when you write key up and refresh the page, when I press B, it has detected. When I press function, it has not detected. Control, it has detected. Alt, it has detected. Shift, it has not detected. Shift detected. Tab detected. So it is able to detect if you use key up and key down property handler, but key press will not able to detect these keys. So these are the other mouse and keyboard events, like the mouse over, mouse mouse out, and the key press, key up, key down, and the difference between key press key up and key down, mouse over and mouse out. So this is all about in this lecture. Thank you so much for watching, and keep following the next lectures. Thank you very much.